Greetings, Sangha. Greetings from Mountain View, California. I am not at IMC, and this is a background of IMC so that we all feel at home. Hence, using my own microphone. I think some folks noticed that and noticed that Gil's microphone at IMC, the microphone we have there, is of very high quality, it's professional quality. And of course, the one I have at home is not. So the sound might be a little more, not as clear, let us say. And these are the conditions. These are the conditions to work with. So just wanted to bring that up. So greetings wherever you are in the world, joining this beautiful Sangha. And for today's sit together, let us continue our reflections, our exploration, our sitting with the 5 daily reflections today, the second one. Yesterday, we started with the first of the 5 daily reflections. The acknowledgement, the acceptance that this body is subject to aging. It has not gone beyond aging, and it's inevitable for all of us to age, all of our bodies. We're human beings dropped in these bodies somehow. Dropped, I use that not literally, of course, but figuratively. This body is nature. It will age. It does age. It has aged. So the second reflection has to do with acknowledging sickness, that this body is subjected to illness. It has not gone beyond illness. Illness, sickness, things not working as they're expected, again, in quotes, expected to, because we expect things to work a particular way, whereas actually it's quite a miracle that this body functions as well as it does, given its complexity. I'll say more about all this during the Dharma afterwards, but just to say a couple of words about the meditation we'll do together as a contemplation. The invitation, similar to yesterday, is we will start by settling in the body with the breath. And really tilling the soil, getting the heart, the mind ready for dropping in the contemplation into a more stable, available, ready space. And later we will drop in the reflections as if the pebble in the water, we drop it into our bodies. And again, I emphasize dropping in the body, not in the head. It's not a rumination. It's not for us to think about these and try to understand them, but in a body that's more quiet, dropping it in and letting it reverberate in your body and listening deeply to see what arises. And there might be some reactions, there might be some grief, some sadness, and making space for these emotions, breathing with the emotions if something arises, or maybe something, or maybe nothing arises, in which case you are actually planting seeds for you to be with this reflection throughout the day. And I do hope that you were with the reflection yesterday throughout the day, as I was with the first reflection about aging, which is quite powerful. So today, again, we'll start the guided meditation with settling with the breath, with the body, mindfulness of the body. We'll emphasize that. And then later I will invite you to first bring in, we will drop in the first contemplation from yesterday, let it reverberate. And then we will bring in today's contemplation about sickness, about the inevitability of illness, sickness for this body, and we'll let that reverberate. Um, so, so with all that, I would like to invite us to get into our meditation posture, whatever is comfortable for you in this moment in time. If it's more comfortable for you to sit up more straight, to have a sense of alignment, integrity, awakeness, then I invite you to do that. And if you need to lie down, if your body is asking you to do that, then that's what's appropriate. Or if you need to relax some more, relax your body, soften your muscles. If you like to close your eyes and turn your gaze inward. Turning your gaze inward and landing. Landing in your body, arriving in this body in this moment. Arriving and landing in this body with a sense of appreciation and awe, no matter the conditions in this moment. The miracle that this body is, regardless. And turning the gaze inward. Turning the gaze of awareness inward. And greeting the body, all parts of the body this morning. Start greeting the hands, the sensations in the hands, inviting the hands to relax, to rest. The hands, they do so much. Greeting them, hello, with friendliness. Hello, dear hands. Thank you. Inviting them to soften. Offer up any tension they might be holding. Greeting the wrists, and therefore the hands can relax and soften more. With your awareness greeting the upper arms, the lower arms, the elbow, inviting them all to relax and soften. They work hard enough. They can relax now and land. Greeting your shoulders, your neck, this body inviting it to give up any tension it's holding. No need, dear neck and shoulders. Greeting your face, or all the muscles in your face, your jaw. Your eyes, inviting them to rest in their socket. Inviting the forehead especially to relax. All the muscles internally. There's no particular face you need to be wearing right now in these social masks. So you can let the entire face relax, be supported by gravity, as if massaged by gravity. Greeting the proverbial thinking muscle, which we associate to be our brain or head, perhaps. Inviting your thoughts to relax and soften. Greeting them with friendliness. Dear thoughts, dear ruminations, you can relax. You can come back later. Please come back later. Taking a moment for refuge right now. Moving down, greeting your chest. The chest cavity, the upper back. Feeling as it receives the breath. Feels lighter, perhaps receiving the breath. Greeting your abdomen, your back, your lower back. Greeting your sit bones. Landing in them, inviting them to soften as if a block of ice melting any tension, holding tightness. With your awareness, greeting your legs, upper legs, knees, lower legs, and feet. Touching, embracing the earth lovingly. Inviting them to relax and soften. And the whole body. Receiving the breath, the whole body invited, greeted with your awareness. The entire body. Alive, breathing, present. Greeting each breath, each in-breath, each out-breath. in your abdomen, in your whole body. One breath at a time. Tilling the soil of the mind to settle. Now I would like to invite you, if you wish, to drop in the contemplation, the first contemplation first, for a moment, into this body, not in the mind, the head thinking about it, not ruminating, but dropping in the body, letting it reverberate. The first contemplation of the 5. I am subject to aging. I have not gone beyond aging. I am of the nature to age. Aging is inevitable. And now we drop in the second contemplation today, if you wish. I am subject to sickness. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. Sickness is inevitable. I am subject to illness. I have not gone beyond illness. And the third time, expanding the perspective as we did yesterday, just like everyone else, just like everyone. I am subject to illness. I have not gone beyond illness. If you find a lot of emotions arising, make space for them, breathing with, and perhaps coming back to the body, mindfulness of the body, simply receiving the breath to stabilize and titrate. To titrate how much of the reflection is appropriate right now without overwhelm. For the last minutes of this practice period, I'd like to invite you to turn the gaze of your attention back to your body and the breath. This body sitting soft, breathing. And greeting with your awareness any level of health that's available right now, to whatever extent. Appreciating any level of health, good health, lack of pain, the various areas of the body that, of course, we take for granted. Choose one area of your body, perhaps, and notice it's not hurting. It's not ill at this point. This one area is functioning. And allow that to arise a sense of gratitude. For this part or for the whole. For whatever is available right now. May we be in touch, acknowledge the goodness of health as much as there is available, and may it support through our thoughts, speech, and action. Spread goodness in the world to benefit all beings. So the second of the 5 daily reflections. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. I realized as we were going through the reflections today that, especially at the time of a global pandemic, this reflection is particularly profound, to really acknowledge that we are of the nature to sicken, just like everyone else, just like everyone else. I'm of the nature to sicken. We're not immune. No one is immune. We are of the nature to sicken. All of us humans, siblings. In old age, sickness, and death, we are all siblings, all of us. None of us are immune from old age, sickness, and death. The first 3 contemplations of the 5. None of us are immune. The sense of the feeling of common humanity, opening up to what it is, this what the Buddha called dukkha, translated as suffering, stress, but the human condition. It's part of the human condition. And specifically with sickness, a lot of times we have a reaction that's not very friendly. We have a lot of narratives, especially with sickness. The narratives that often come up when we get sick isn't, well, okay, I'm sick, all right. There's not one of acceptance, which, by the way, is very different from resignation. Let me talk about that actually before I talk about narratives, because that's very important. So accepting, as I put up yesterday, the little diagram about the difference between acceptance, what acceptance isn't. But I wish it wasn't here. It was the what I put up yesterday was regarding rain. Oh, I wish it wasn't raining. My day would be so much better if it wasn't raining. Whereas acceptance of rain with that diagram is like, yep, it's raining. Yeah, acceptance. It's like this. Versus resignation. So bringing that with sickness, like, I wish I wasn't sick. What did I do wrong? It's my fault. If I only hadn't done this or that, if this other person, it's this other person's fault, pointing the finger outward, if they hadn't done this or that, or catastrophizing fear that this will never go away. And so the stories, there are many stories, there are many narratives that we can bring that are not really helpful in accepting that, yep, this is what's happening right now. So acceptance is a sense of, yeah, my body sickens. I am of the nature to sicken. just as everyone else in the world. And okay, so this has happened. And okay, with wisdom, with compassion, what to do. Resignation would be, oh, this is fate. This is, whatever. The fate is from a different cosmology, but there's nothing to be done, and this was meant to happen, and this is it. This is my. I guess in this cosmology, some people use karma. It's my fate. It's my karma. I'm supposed to be sick, which is resignation. And by the way, that's not the right way to use karma. That's another whole long talk. But anyway, I won't go there in this moment talking about sickness. So there's a difference between accepting the reality of the moment. This is what's happening right now. These are the circumstances, those are the causes and conditions. Given all these causes and conditions, this is what has happened. It cannot be changed because it must be this way. If it could have been any other way, it would have been, given all the causes and conditions. So this is what's arising. This is what has been given. This is what the case is. Okay, accepting instead of fighting it, instead of in our minds bargaining. What if I had done this? What if they had done that? That doesn't really help. So there's a sense of acceptance instead of wishing it to have been different. Well, it isn't different. This is what has happened. There is sickness. And of course, it doesn't mean not to do anything, not to have resignation, but to take wise, compassionate steps, accepting the reality of this moment without fighting the reality of the moment, without fighting that this is how things are. And this reflection, as I mentioned also yesterday, the first three reflections correspond to the first three um, 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 the crows are singing in my neighborhood. I hear them loud and clear. Maybe so are you. The three heavenly messengers. So the first three reflections regarding old age, sickness, and death will correspond to what really woke the Buddha up when he came out of the grounds of the castle and saw a an aged man and a sick man and the corpse that woke him up to the reality of being human and how to wake up, how to have freedom, how to not be in pain and mourning in the middle of this life, how to have freedom in the midst of sickness and old age, and knowing that we die, knowing that we'll be separated from everyone whom we care for and love, knowing all that, how we can have a sense of freedom in the midst of this life. So this reflection really helps to this daily reflection the Buddha has suggested, has taught all of us, both monastics and lay people, to do these 5 reflections every day, to till the soil of our hearts and minds for acceptance of the human condition, to make us more ready for waking up in the midst of all this, because of all this, actually, as a condition, not to lull ourselves into oblivion, but to actually use these conditions to wake up. That this is to make peace. Yes, I am of the nature to sicken. How can I have freedom? How can I have ease with the conditions? How can I be with them without being toppled this way or that? And the practice, all these practices that we do with meditation, with sitting, with being with, these are all different ways of opening up to these truths. And the waves in the ocean, you can consider all of these waves in the ocean. The waves will always be there, and we'll learn to surf better and better and better. With bigger waves, so that we're not toppled over into the ocean, bobbing up and down in the waves. So for today's practice, Like everyone else, I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. My invitation is, one is, as if there is any sickness, and I've had a chronic illness for decades, so I know a lot about working with sickness and nature to sicken. So I say this not from, a high place of, well, do this, but this is practice I've done for a long time, working with sickness and befriending this body's nature to sicken. So if there's any sickness, um, really noticing the ruminations, noticing the narratives in your mind, if there are any narratives that, oh, my body has let me down, I feel betrayed, why me? What did I do wrong? Why did they do wrong? Catastrophizing, noticing these narratives, really noticing them with mindfulness, befriending them. Because seeing them is really the first step of working with them. And another aspect of this reflection is that it helps you, it supports you to actually realize the blessing of good health. If there are areas of your body that are functioning, are not hurting, and to realize that the nature to sicken, to get sick, is part of human life. So if you have good health, if there are this is their vitality and good health, how to use it today. What is the best way to live your life with the vitality, with the good health, with the good fortune you have been given? So, living according to your values when you are healthy, this reflection supports you to wake up to that. So this reflection both supports you when you are healthy to live according to your values. Also, when you are ill, if you are ill right now, or if you, well, we will all become ill at some point, it's inevitable. It helps you to live according to your values when you're ill, or if you're ill. And oh, yes, this is a human condition, just like me, just like me, just like me, just like me, and just like everyone else, just like everyone else. So, my invitation for today is to hold this reflection close to your heart as you are walking, as you are making food, as you're eating, as you're working, as you're exercising, as you're doing anything, as you're interacting with your loved ones. Drop it into your body, just like everyone. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. I am, just like everyone, I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. So, thank you, dear Sangha, for joining us, joining everyone in these beautiful practices, both for yourself and to support everyone. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. I look forward to it. The third reflection.